Welcome to Go Trash, episode 271, To the Heart of the Storm, by Will Eisner. My name is Eric.
I'm Jason.
Howdy.
What's up, buddy?
Nothing.
Yeah?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Just nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Well, that's good, right? Yeah.
Could be worse, I guess.
Like, it's a nice Sunday afternoon thing to be doing, because this is a Sunday, late afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing is good.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'd prefer to have something to do.
Right.
Yeah.
You had some video games.
Yeah, I mean, you know, with other people.
Let's relax.
I prefer to be hanging around with somebody.
Oh, I wish I would have came over today.
It would have been nice.
Wait a
It
minute.
would have been nice.
I think I did.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Huh?
No. Yeah, I don't think you did.
I'm not really here.
No.
We're Skyping.
Yeah.
Because I've got technology at my disposal, right?
You are a master of it.
That's right. Yeah. I can dial up a computer.
Oh, man. So the Gutter Trash network, podcasting network, the shows on it, man, we've been gold for the past couple days here.
Oh yeah.
just making good podcasts.
Right. This is what we do. When you do as many as we do, you get this good at this thing that we're doing. Look at this picture.
Oh, holy crap.
But, yeah. So you doing alright? Huh? Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful day. It's lovely outside.
It's cold.
It's not.
Chilly.
It's barely chilly.
It's chilly.
It's like jacket weather here.
It's heavy jacket weather
You
still.
think?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a hot dude. I get hot easy.
Well, normally I do as well.
Yeah.
You want to start over?
No, let's just slog right through. Let's just bulldoze our way to the end. To the heart of the storm!
You know, I blame myself here.
Yeah.
I should have done the bigger, normal Go to Trash intro to sort
have
of
a little more-
amp us up.
Right.
And I decided to play it quiet today.
Right.
And I think that really ruined everything. I have learned over the past week and a half that I am incredible at ruining things.
Oh, you didn't ruin this. It ruined itself.
It ruined itself 5 years ago, the day we started.
That was our best episode.
Oh boy! All right, let's do a soft reboot here.
Okay.
Hey! Let's talk about To the Heart of the Storm
By Will Eisner.
Will Eisner.
Pew, pew, pew.
So you sort of picked this as a counterbalance to Joe and I reviewing The Spirit when you were gone.
Right, yeah.
Of the movie.
Yeah.
Frank Miller's Will Eisner's The Spirit.
You're right. Yeah, I figured, because I listened to that episode, and I took from it one horrible fact that I actually believe you guys did watch that movie. So I was like,
We did indeed.
so if that happened on this earth, for every time that happens, somebody needs to read a Will Eisner book.
You know, that seems fair. Honestly,
Yeah.
yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that statement. Even even if Joe did indeed apparently love that movie.
He did, yeah. He said he had a good time.
Yeah. And, it's entertainment of some sort.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's weird because I was actually thinking about that today as I finished this book. That Will Eisner basically sort of invented the language of comics. Or at least redefined.
Yeah, I'd say redefined. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
I totally believe that, like, without his work on The Spirit and his later works especially, that we wouldn't have the comic art that we have today. Like, always attempting to push boundaries and
yeah. I totally agree.
And so it seems to me that if someone should have made a Spirit movie, that maybe they should have done the equivalent of a movie version of that, like push movies,
right.
To a new boundary, and not just whatever it was that Frank Miller decided to be doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because especially if you're making The Spirit, because he's done tons of different books other than The Spirit, but The Spirit kind of has so much of those repeating, elements, like the title sequence.
Right.
And like I heard you guys say, like the title sequence was just written in Frank Miller font.
Yeah.
Like it's like that is such a wasted opportunity right there.
Yeah.
That is amazing to me that at least they didn't do that. Like do something with like the cityscape turning into the word spirit or something.
Right.
I don't know. That's just crazy to me.
I think wasted opportunity probably sums up the Spirit movie.
That film?
Just in its entirety. Wasted opportunity.
Right. Yeah, it's too bad. I mean, I've only seen the trailer, so I couldn't really comment exactly, but that's what I would expect to get from it. But
yeah, so we read this book.
Yeah.
To counterbalance
The Heart of the Storm.
the movie, the whatever that was.
Yeah, this is not a Spirit book.
It is not.
just
Will
by the guy who did
Eisner
this.
moved on
Yeah.
in the 70s, decided to try new things, and invented the graphic novel.
Yeah, that's something good to do. when you're bored with your previous thing.
Yeah.
Just invent a whole new
Form of
faction.
storytelling.
Right, yeah. Yeah, this is not his first graphic novel, but I think this is like in the 90s, early 90s, I think.
I think 1990 was the date on this.
I actually started to pick... I even started reading a different Will Eisner book.
91. Yeah.
I started reading The Plot, which is his final graphic novel.
Right.
From 2005. And I was going to pick that. Like, that was my plan. I was like, okay, I'm going to pick this. So I started reading it. And it is like I thought that would be, like, not a good, example of his work.
Right.
Because it is very wordy. I mean, there's, like, a lot of pages that are just, like, basically text with, like, a tiny illustration.
Right.
And, I didn't want to have that be the one thing that we talk about of his work on the air, because, and like, in addition to that, which, that is not something I look for in comics, but I don't necessarily shy away from it. Mm-hmm. It's just not something that attracts me to a comic being super wordy.
Right.
But it did have something that, I don't know, was kind of uninteresting, because I read like the first chapter, and it just seemed like he was trying to put all these facts, because it's based on all these historical events, mm-hmm. and it was just very kind of dry, and it seemed like the characters were just delivering exposition just so you knew the facts.
Right.
It just seemed like very, like, it didn't feel like it had a good flow.
Right.
And I was like, after a chapter, I was like, I'm going to pick a different Will Eisner book. So that's why I kind of picked an older one.
Right. Well, I appreciate that because there were times in this book where I felt that exact same thing.
Really?
Where it was just characters giving me facts.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
See, I didn't feel it in this one.
It was about facts about their lives,
Right.
but, it was still facts. And,
Like, they're like, I'm 17 and I have my own car.
yeah.
Like that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, not so much that, but just like some of the backstory of his mom and dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just seemed like there was, especially with the mom, an extraneous amount of mostly not useful information.
Right. Okay.
Nothing that really informed the story, I felt.
I didn't get that feeling from this one. But maybe it's because I had just read the other one, which it was more blatant. And so the basic story of this is Will Eisner is on his way
to war.
To war, yeah.
Yeah, he is heading off to fight Nazis in World War II. And on the train trip, he is reminiscing about his life and how he sort of got to that point.
Right. To no one in particular, just to us.
Just to himself, he's sort of just drifting out the window and daydreaming.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is, I love the way that's done because, like, he just sees certain things happening in the city, like, a lady, like, putting laundry on the front porch or whatever, and it just reminds him of his mom doing it, and then it just fades into a scene where it starts with that image and then just goes off in another direction.
Right.
I really like that. But yeah. So yeah, he's off to war.
Yeah.
Young man, young Will Eisner, autobiographical story.
Autobiographical. Yep. He did go off to war.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't Wally Wood replace him on the Spirit?
Yeah.
While he was fighting the war.
And then, and Wally Wood sent the Spirit into outer space, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because he was like, I'd rather draw a sci-fi book.
Right.
No, I don't know. It might have been written that way already. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are amazing, too. I've seen some of that Wally Wood Spirit stuff, and it's fucking gorgeous.
Wally Wood's pretty great.
Yeah.
Will Eisner's pretty great.
Yeah, they're both awesome.
I might prefer Wally Wood a little more.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Just the art style, you mean?
I think so.
Yeah.
Just because I think it's more of a precursor to, like, Bernie Wrightson and,
right.
Like Kelly Jones and Kyle Hotz, who's all have a similar style that I just love.
Right. Yeah.
Which is weird because I've also seen Wally Wood's Daredevil stuff and it doesn't look anything like that.
Right, yeah. Looks kind of like a House Marvel thing.
Right.
But that was one thing about Wally Wood is he could do super cartoony and like super dark, and he has some war comics and horror, and he's amazing. I even saw him do a poster of Disney characters like shooting heroin and fucking each other.
Nice.
But it was all drawn totally Disney-like.
Right.
It was amazing.
Yeah, that guy didn't have any problems.
No, not at all.
Yeah. We're not here to talk about Wally Wood.
No.
We're here to talk about Will Eisner, To the Heart of the Storm, in this book that I don't know how to talk about.
Well, it's about prejudices and racism.
Pretty much.
That's kind of like the huge factor.
The core of it, I think, yeah. The more I got into the book, the more I realized that maybe I don't know how much we're actually going to be able to talk about the book.
Right.
Because I think, like, I don't know, for me, it like kept bringing up, issues of racism and prejudice,
right.
And how, how much of a different time, like, this portrays.
Yeah, because it starts in the, 20s or 30s?
I'd say the 20s.
Yeah.
If it is truly autobiographical, then
right.
Eisner was born in 1917, so through his childhood and teen years would be the 20s and 30s.
Right. Yeah, because they were Jewish and they moved to New York.
Yep.
And a lot of the kids around there weren't real receptive to Jews in the neighborhood.
Yep.
So that was like his first taste of racism.
I wouldn't say just the kids. I would say almost everyone that they run into.
Oh yeah. But I think that was like the starting point. Was like he just went out to play and like kids were assholes to him.
Right.
And then he even kind of falls for a girl, and she ends up being kind of a her whole family kind of anti-Jew.
Uh-huh. Well, that's towards the end of the book, though.
Right.
The later part. Because it's I mean, yeah, it's like it starts out with Willie, dealing with his neighborhood kids and them just being assholes,
right.
And racists and just violent thugs.
Yeah.
You know, and then like we get introduced to his parents, and like his dad is like a pretty calm, like level-headed kind of dude,
Right.
You know,
Kind of like Bill Cosby, sort
a
of.
little bit Bill Cosby-ish. If Bill Cosby was a European Jew who just only wanted to be left alone to read his newspaper.
So yeah, pretty much just Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does love that newspaper.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that Will Eisner's dad was a horrible father, but not the most attentive either.
I thought he was cool though. I mean, he wasn't the most attentive, but
he wasn't mean or
Right.
abusive or anything like that.
He taught him some lessons.
Yeah.
And, took him with him to his work a couple times and stuff.
And encouraged his artwork and his talent, and basically sort of left it in him that like he should still at least keep a part of him that dreams, and wants to better himself. Whereas his mother is kind of the opposite.
She's all about the practicality.
Yeah, she's kind of a dream killer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Might say she's a terrible mother.
Ooh, really? You think?
Yeah.
I don't know if I go that far. She just doesn't seem awesome.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, she doesn't beat the shit out of him or anything like that, but I would say the kind of abuse that she's leveling is maybe worse.
The emotional kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, she was worried about him when he disappeared and called the police.
But it's one of those things where she's worried about him, but, treats him like shit for showing back up.
Maybe not treats him like shit, but she's not the most, encouraging. She's definitely not encouraging.
Right.
Yeah. She seemed just kind of there, really, to me. But
she's definitely not just there. She is actively destroying that family.
well, she kind of goes along with whatever the father says, though, when he's like, "Oh, we're moving again," and she's like, "Oh boy." But I don't know.
But she's doing her hardest to just tear that family apart as much as possible.
Maybe.
Teaching her own, I guess. Yeah.
I'd have to look at that scene again. I just remember, her major role was just in, remembering her own childhood.
Right.
Talking about her sisters and, how her brother was, stealing and...
and I thought that that was, for the most part, unnecessary.
Yeah, that was I enjoyed that part, but it was not... I mean, the only thing it really served was to show, even a generation before that, no one was, really proud to be a Jew there because they were all hiding, changing their names and, disassociating themselves from family members that people knew were Jewish and things like that.
Right.
I think that's the only purpose that really served, but not really, like you said, not necessary for the story.
Right. Because I think we get plenty of that still throughout.
Right.
The modern era, part of the story, and I think even with the father, I think who his backstory is more pertinent to everything.
Right.
When he comes to America and he starts, he changes his name and, or apparently just his first name, as we learned on Wikipedia.
Yeah. Yeah, I always, in my mind, I thought that Eisner wasn't his real name. I thought it was, Eisenberg or something like that.
Well, it's because, of his era of comic book creators, there's so many, Jewish creators who all wound up changing their names.
Right.
like Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, are probably the biggest two.
Garcia Lopez. He changed his name to
Jose
that.
Luis Garcia Lopez also changed his name to be less Jewish.
Right.
Yeah. Lopez Stein.
Lopez Stein. That was the original. Yeah. Look it up on Wikipedia. It's true. But yeah, I think the father's story was more in line with just the story, but I'd imagine maybe he was just like, I want to tell both my parents' stories or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. If this wasn't autobiographical, I could see the mom's story being excised and it not really mattering at all.
Right. It sets up her personality, why she is so the way she is,
right?
Because she didn't grow up great,
right?
Like she came from a broken family that was just kind of all sorts of fucked up, and
so she thinks dreaming is just a waste of time, or
right.
not just dreaming, but following your dreams,
right?
Of being who you want to be,
because it comes from a place of survival,
right?
And I get that, but I got that from just her interactions with Willie and his dad,
right?
Yeah. So then, I thought the dad's portion of the story was much better, and it may just be because, we're both artists,
right?
And, there was just a little more to latch onto.
Oh, that reminds me too, as an artist, I loved when his dad took him to the art school. It was like Universal Art School or something.
Yeah.
And Will Eisner was all excited, and he goes in there, and there's this fucking contraption.
Yeah.
They hook him up to where, they don't even want to look at his portfolio that he brings, and they basically just hook his arm up to this thing that's connected to the arm of an actual older artist.
Right.
And he just sits there and draws, and it mimics the movement. It's like a puppeteer thing,
right?
Where it puppets Will Eisner's arm to draw on the paper.
It's arm control.
Yeah.
Yeah. And within 3 weeks, he'll be a professional artist.
Did that really happen?
I don't know.
Because I know
it's so weird.
In the intro, he says, a lot of this is selective memory, and I admit, there's some things I tweaked.
Right.
And I'm did that really happen? I really want to know if that happened back then.
That'd be interesting to find out.
So crazy.
Yeah.
But it's a great idea. Could you imagine if you could go to a comic convention and there'd be different artists sitting there, you pay
just hook up to a machine and
either pay
draw
$20 to hang it, hook your arm to Todd McFarlane's arm or something.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool. I don't know who I would choose. I would probably choose Bill Sinkovich or something. You get quite a workout that way.
Yeah.
Try him flying all over the page.
I'll choose Greg Land.
Oh.
So all it is just cutting and pasting out of Photoshop.
And every once in a while, you just notice you're just watching your page, and all of a sudden, you drop your pen and you just start jerking off, making jerk off motions, because I'm sure that's what he does when he traces porn.
He's the worst.
He's pretty bad. So, but yeah, racism. It's obviously
it's not good.
It's not good, and it was pretty prevalent in his early days.
Right. And all right. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my racist T-shirt on here.
Oh, right.
And let my racism flag fly.
Right.
Okay. I don't think it's cool, obviously. But, I understand why some white people, don't like black people. I get that, right?
Just because they're different, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I've never understood racism against Jewish people. Because, to me, it doesn't seem like there's no difference.
I see what you mean. It's not as visually
apparent, right? Yeah.
Do you think it mostly falls back on religion, and then when children are racist against Jews, it's because
they learned it from their parents, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess, let's broaden it, I guess, and then let's say I don't understand religious persecution.
Right.
because, I mean, I never grew up religious. Like, that was just, we never went to church. It was just not a part of our lives.
Right.
And, like, I heard my dad once tell me that, you know, he, like, because his mom was super, super Christian. Like, you know, went to church multiple times a week, you know,
Right.
and then, you know, praise Jesus, you know, that kind of thing. And, when he was a kid, you know, and this probably would have been around, well, I mean, he was born in the 40s, so, you know, his parents were probably, you know, raised around the time that, you know, Will Eisner would have been.
Yeah.
You know, but, like, his mom would not let him be friends with anyone who was Jewish or Catholic. You know, and I think even there's, like, a point in the book where, like, someone, like, is refusing membership to a club because they're Catholic.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
And yeah, that thing is always, like, you know, and then my dad's like, well, at that moment, that's when I decided I was never going to go to church. You know, as soon as I was old enough, you know, because it's kind of a bullshit thing. Yeah.
Right, yeah. I think, yeah, it's just this era. It's like, you know, they thought of not only just the religious differences, but there was this mentality that Jews were trying to, like, corrupt the whole country,
Right.
and control it and all these things, and it was just, like, insane.
Right.
Yeah.
Like where do they get that from? Like, you know, I don't understand any of that, and I don't know where it comes from. I'm also not going to do the research to find out.
Right.
You know, because as far as I'm concerned, I don't care who's Jewish or who's Catholic or whatever, as long as you're not an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where that started. Maybe it's a biblical thing, like with you guys killed Jesus, that sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, makes no sense to me, but you know, it's a very real thing. It still happens occasionally.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely not as prevalent as this book seems to make it.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
because this is like the time leading up to the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it was just completely different back then. And, you know, I really hope that, like, 50 years from now, when someone's reading a book about, like, a gay man growing up in the 80s, that they're like, I can't even imagine.
Right.
Like, you know, like, that would be so awesome if this is something that every 50 years just loses all of its, like, gusto.
Right.
You know, where, you know, eventually nobody really cares about any differences. That would be fucking awesome.
It would be. Yeah. Absolutely, it would be.
Yeah. And then I can do a graphic novel about being a gay black man.
Yeah,
Because
there you go.
I've had a rough time with it.
We know you have. We've been here supporting you.
Right.
But just not openly because we don't want to appear like we're supporting any kind of minority.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Especially a double minority.
Right, yeah. And, you know, I don't want my neighbors thinking that, you know, I'm, you know,
Tolerant
or a, you know, black or Jew sympathizer or gay sympathizer. Or maybe even gay. Like closeted gay.
Right, because we spend a lot of time together.
We do spend a lot of time together.
In closed doors.
Right, yeah.
They hear us yelling, you know.
Right.
Is gutter trash a sexual, like, battle cry? 'Cause we hear that all the time.
I am actually slightly worried that the Indian restaurant that we have been going to for the last 3 or 4 weeks, I'm kind of sure that the waitresses all think we're gay.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. Maybe you should ask one of them out.
Oh, yeah.
That would freak them out.
There we go.
You know?
Yeah.
Then they wouldn't know what to do.
Well, because I'm white.
Are you?
Whiter than they are.
Right. Yeah, racism, wow.
Yeah.
Did you have racism when you were a kid?
Oh, yeah.
Because you're part Puerto Rican, part white man.
Yep.
How did that work out?
Not well. Probably informs a lot of my antisocial sort of fear of being out amongst people, and you know, because when I was a little kid, I got the shit beat out of me because I had a slightly darker skin tone than some others.
Right. By mostly white kids.
By mostly white kids, and a Jew.
Yeah.
Especially the Jew.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Did you?
My biggest tormentor.
Really?
Was Jewish. Yep.
That's interesting.
Yep. Jason Rubin. Naming names.
You remember?
Fuck that guy. Hope he's dead.
Oh. I don't know him, but it sounds like he's a terrible person.
Yeah. My mom once said that the next time he made fun of me, I should tell him that I wish Hitler had killed his family.
Oh, jeez. That's pretty rough.
Yeah. I didn't know what that meant at the time either.
You're like, okay, I'll repeat it.
Sure.
She's like, okay, don't forget your lunch. Have a good day at school. Talk about Hitler.
Yeah, I got made fun of a lot and I got beat up a lot because I was slightly different. And but the thing is that they had no idea what actual race I was, part.
Right.
And so they would call me Chinese freak.
Chinese freak. Wow.
Yep.
That should be another podcast you do. Chinese freak. That'd be great. So, do you remember, like, I don't want to dredge up memories, but did the Jewish kid have a reason? Was he like,
No, just an asshole.
Yeah.
They were all just assholes.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, he wasn't like just against Puerto Ricans or anything. He was just
well,
an
yeah,
asshole.
like I said, none of them knew I was Puerto Rican.
Right.
I was Chinese, apparently.
Right. Well, you do eat a lot of Chinese food.
I do.
I've seen that yesterday, in fact.
I did eat some Chinese food yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good portion of my early childhood. But I've also learned that some of my family is also a little racist. Mostly on my mom's side.
I think every family has some racist people in it.
Yeah. But my mom's side of the family, Puerto Rican, do not like Mexicans. They do not like any other form of Hispanic
Like no Cubans,
ethnicity. No Cubans, no Dominicans, no
That's weird, isn't it?
Panamanians, Mexicans, whatever. Especially the Mexicans, though.
And is that a political reason? Like,
Nope.
like just
don't like them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like the last big family get-together thing we had, just a couple of my uncles were like talking about the asshole Mexicans that they have to deal with at their jobs or
Right.
whatever, the fucking Cubans again,
Right. It's not just like Charlie and, Juan or whatever.
No, yeah.
Yeah, those guys are assholes. It's their entire race.
Right, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just bizarre. It's bizarre. I mean, I'm sure I've had some race-based thoughts before, like
Sure.
especially growing up.
Oh, yeah, everyone does, I think.
Yeah, but it's
they're
something
just-
you grow out of if you're not a fucking idiot.
Right, yeah. Or have a podcast.
Right. Yeah.
We've been terrible on here before.
As just as jokesters.
As jokes, yeah.
Yeah.
But, there's also maybe just a sliver of, structure to them, too.
There's not a sliver of structure to anything we do.
There's a sliver.
Okay.
Like the thinnest sliver.
Right. Yeah, it's like
To everything.
right. Yeah. Well, okay, that's fair.
But, I had some trouble with some neighbors, as the listener might remember.
Mm-hmm.
But, it was just the neighbors.
Right. It wasn't their whole race.
Right, yeah. I mean, they were terrible, terrible people who just happened to be black.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, I would probably be a little bit on edge if another black family moved upstairs.
See, yeah, that's the kind of racism I think that's like, it's like everywhere because you can't even, I
Right.
guess you can control that sort of thing, but it's just like,
Well, you have
it's
one
like-
bad experience with something.
Right.
It's gonna, affect how you view any future dealings.
yeah, it's like, okay, if I can make a horrible metaphor here.
Go for it.
Um,
I hope it is the horriblest.
Well, this is not terrible, but I'm comparing black people to avocados because,
Okay, I'm gonna say that whatever I was thinking in my head is probably comparable to what you're about to say.
okay.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, you've had guacamole and you don't like guacamole.
Right.
But I'm like, I make the best guacamole ever. And like, I've tried to get you to try it a couple of times. You're like, no, not interested. I'm like, just because, one batch of guacamole is no good doesn't mean it's all no good because the ingredients are different every time. And I think people are the same way.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't eat peanut brittle because when I was like 4 years old, I had some and then just immediately got sick.
Right.
And so now I just associate peanut brittle with vomiting.
Right.
Yeah. And so, sadly, unfortunately, I'm probably going to associate black people with the loud assholes who lived above me for 4 years.
Like in a situation where they're
They would be living above me.
right. Not like if you're at the record store and you just see a black guy, you're not like, I bet that guy's an asshole.
Right, yeah.
But if he's trying to move in, you're like, oh, I hope that's not
Right,
like
yeah.
the same
I'm going to be
situation.
super wary. Yeah.
Right.
I'm not going to act on it or anything unless it turns out they are.
But the thought would be there in your head.
The thought would be there.
And that is interesting that, like, as someone who, you seem pretty level-headed as far as, like, as far as that sort of thing. Like, you don't seem like you would be a racist guy.
Right.
But, like, and, I don't think I would either, but situations like that do inform little things that you can't get rid of.
Yeah, it's just the way it is. And, I mean, part of it with me is, I just don't like everybody.
Yeah.
Like I am wary of, honestly, like, all people.
I think you're more racist against the human race.
Yeah. Because, honestly, like, the people who live above me now, like, I wasn't thrilled that they were going to be moving up there. I was super worried what was going to be happening in that situation, and it's turned out to not be so bad, but, like, every time I'm sitting here and I can hear them, like, knock something over onto the floor, I'm just like, oh, fuck. Like, I'm getting flashbacks from, the previous tenants.
Right.
Yeah. But, they couldn't be more opposite people.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, I just hate everybody.
Yeah. That's a good policy.
Yeah.
Hate everybody equally. So, and in, like, this book, it is mostly racism.
It was written by a Jew, and I don't like Jews. So I don't like this book.
Right?
No. No.
Like, if this would have been by a Puerto Rican man who hates everybody,
Right.
then I would like it.
Yeah.
Because I can relate. But so the storm, I guess, that he's going to is, like, the heart of the storm is World War II.
Right.
Where, obviously that was pretty much the pinnacle of Jew hatred.
Oh, yeah.
On the planet Earth.
Killing a couple million of them?
Right.
Yeah. Probably the peak of that, sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But, and it's interesting too because, like, early on in the book, he kind of forges a friendship with a non-Jewish kid, and they build this boat together.
Right.
Over, like, the course of a summer or something. Yeah. And so, like, they're kind of working on something together, and they're, like, kind of, like, forgetting about their differences, because the guy knows he's a Jewish kid, right?
I think so, yeah. But I don't think it's said outright, but I think it's implied pretty much, yeah.
Right.
But his parents are not.
Right.
Like,
yeah, they don't know.
They don't know that he's Jewish, and
they would be totally against it.
Right, yeah.
But, it kind of, like, I'm thinking that the war is supposed to parallel that, because basically, a couple other guys on the train are obviously, like, racist bigots.
One for sure.
Yeah, one for sure.
Yeah.
And by the end of the book, you realize, like, those guys are all going to have to work together on something too. So it's kind of like, it kind of mirrors that whole boat building thing.
Right. Well, the thing that, the kid with that he was building the boat with, like towards the end of the book, just before Will goes off to war, he runs into this kid, like, years later.
Yeah, like 15 years later or something.
Something like that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know for sure. But, like, they run into each other and they're just talking, and, the kid is just a flat-out racist now.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's just giving Will Eisner shit for, being Jewish and, just stereotyping him as just,
like how they're not
cowardly, piece of shit. Yeah,
yeah, and it's like it's kind of like disheartening because you're like, well, there was the one kid that kind of knew he was Jewish and didn't really care,
right? Yeah,
like even he like turns on him eventually,
right? And
like, but it was weird because it's like he didn't even realize. It's just like we were talking about earlier, just those things that pop in your head that just stay with you because he's racist. But by the end of the conversation, he's like, "So you want to have dinner tomorrow night?"
Right? Yeah.
But it's like you're just saying these horrible things about his the core of his being,
right?
And then invite him to dinner. It's so fucked up. Like that's how fucked up racism and prejudices get.
Yeah. Actually, I haven't talked about this at all in the past couple weeks, but I went out on a date a couple weeks ago, and the girl and I were having this conversation about tattoos, honestly.
Right.
And how I'm pretty anti-tattoo.
Right.
And she was talking about, like, her sister or cousin or something wanted to get a tattoo, and it was going to say Shalom.
Oh, okay.
And she was, like, trying to convince her sister to not get that tattoo because people will think she's Jewish. And she kept saying that over and over again. And I was like, are you anti-Jewish? Are you an anti-Semitic?
Right.
Yeah, and she convinced me that she was not.
Okay.
You know. And she was like, would that be a deal breaker? I was like, yeah, it would. I'd probably get up and leave right now.
And this is before you were reading To the Heart of the Storm?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I respect that.
Yeah. No, I mean, she should have just been convincing her sister to not get the tattoo.
Because tattoos are awful.
Right.
Right. And the people that get them are the scum of the earth.
Right.
Says me with tattoos. And I just realized that you can't see me, so
Right, yeah.
I do have tattoos.
We've talked about that
Yeah.
before. Yeah.
What if there's a first-time listener? That would be awkward and sad for them.
Yeah, yes, it would be. This is not one of the good ones.
There are good ones.
There's
apparently.
a couple. There's a couple.
Yeah.
We've been doing this 5 years. There has to be, like, 3.
Oh, yeah, back when we were drinking. Yeah.
We did used to drink a little bit, yeah.
So I mean, we've kind of talked about the elements, but what did you think of this book?
I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little dry in places.
Yeah.
Like I said, like with the mother's backstory. But, I mean, it's interesting, knowing that this is autobiographical and seeing what informed Will Eisner to be the person that he is.
Right.
And just how, he was faced with a whole bunch of things that he, like, just flat out decided that, like, I don't want to be like that,
Right. Yeah.
Like he very much comes off as a person who's proud of being Jewish, but also, kind of doesn't really care about it either.
Yeah, like he's not like a flag waver, but
Right,
he's like, hey, don't tread on me for being Jewish.
Right? Yeah. He just wants to be an American.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
pretty much the core of it.
Like even when he was younger, he tried to get his brother to change his name to Pete because his name was. What was his name?
Yeah.
It like started with the word Jew. It was like Jew something or other.
Maybe Julius.
Julius, that's right.
Or Julian.
Because they were the kids were making fun of him. So,
Right.
So yeah, he just wants to be just another American,
Right.
Like,
And, I think that's the core of it. We all just want to be accepted,
Right.
for what we are, and, who cares about the details,
exactly.
We just want to fit in.
That's right. We want to be a piece of this puzzle.
Exactly. This puzzle called America.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, but what do you think of the artwork?
Oh, the artwork's fantastic.
It's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Like just like even the pictures where there's no dialogue or whatever, just the facial expressions and just the movement, but like the way he frames quote unquote panels, like
Right.
where there's not panel borders a lot of times, but there's
I'd
like
say most of this doesn't have panel borders.
right. Yeah, but there's like
Okay, there's some.
but there's like maybe a tree that's on the right hand side of the panel that makes the right hand side, and there's like a stairwell on the left hand side that makes it, or like it's a scene like when his dad takes him to work when he's working like on a set painter as a set painter at a play or something.
Right.
There's like a scene where you just see like a bird's eye view of the stage, and the background of the entire page is black, and just the panel is just what's happened to be lit by the stage lights, and just things like that just like fucking blow my mind as far as just the way he lays it out.
Right. And, I mean, there's something to be said also for his figure work. Every character, like, like people are just, I mean, there's no action to this comic, there's just people talking for the most part.
Right.
But, like, everyone
There's so much movement
is moving, and, like, even when they're just sitting there, there's, emotion and there's acting, going on. But, like, the one thing that I think is the most impressive is, like, there's scenes where it's, like, young Will Eisner is talking to, like, his mother or his father, and they are drawn in a way that it looks like they're related.
Oh, yeah?
You know, like that has got to be one of the most impossible things to do, you know, as a cartoonist.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know
is
about
to
that.
draw three completely separate people, but all make them look like they're part of the same family.
Right, yeah.
You know, just like, you know, especially with Will, who, you know, looks like a mix between his father and his mother, especially his mother. Like, I think it leans more towards that.
Uh-huh.
But, like, the fact that there are similarities, but also differences, and, like, you can totally tell that they are mother and son, you know?
That's pretty amazing.
Pretty fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's, like, as a comics storyteller, I mean, he's obviously, like, amazing, but
Right.
I don't know that he's just not my absolute favorite, like, comic book artist ever.
Right.
You know, as far as, like, if I could tweak my style to be a little more like anybody, like, that's who I would try to, like,
Right.
you know, wish I could, you know, reach for.
Yeah. I'm in 100% agreement on that.
No.
Like, you know, yeah, like, I mean, I've not read too much stuff by him, but every time I do, I'm just, you know, I'm always staring at panels and trying to figure out how can I incorporate at least some of that into what I do. You know?
And it's so amazing because it just looks effortless, and it flows so well, even though the pages are just insanely, like, designed as far as,
Right.
I mean, they're simplistic because there's not a lot going on, but just like geniusly designed.
Right.
But it never slows you down as far as reading it. It just flows.
Yeah.
It's
And he's
incredible.
never showing off.
Right. Yeah.
You know, he's not like, you know, like clearly he's not sitting at the drawing board, or was, you know, saying, look what I'm doing here.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
It's like, this will blow some fucking minds.
Right.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It never gets to that point where it just
Right.
looks like a pinup on a page.
Right.
You know.
Like, maybe when he was doing the Spirit, there was probably some of that.
Yeah.
But, like, as he grew older, you know, and then more mature, like, he definitely
Yeah.
found a way to continue to do that without swinging his dick around. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it's so amazing. And like the crazy thing too is like I was looking at the book he did in 2005 when he was like 87 maybe.
Right.
And it looks like the stuff he was doing in the 70s and 80s, like
Yeah.
like it did, like his style did not, like he found exactly where he wanted to be, because some of the early Spirit stuff
Sure.
doesn't really look that great. I mean, it looks better than like the way I draw, but
Right.
it doesn't look like Will Eisner to me.
Right.
But once he like found his look, like he did that look for like 40 years,
Right.
and it never diminished at
No.
all. I mean, it, like the stuff he did when he was in his 80s looks as comparable to, you know, a cartoonist in their 30s.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yep. He was good.
Yeah, he was fucking good.
Yeah. All right. We're going to take a break.
Sure.
We go purify ourselves from all these racist thoughts.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me, I've got a KKK story for you
Sweet.
when we get back.
Okay. We'll be back.
But I've been going through the motions. Wonder if anyone can see that I've been looking for something
back.
Hey.
What's up?
Not much. I feel like my voice is giving out a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you getting scratchy?
Last Tuesday, I started noticing that my throat was super, super sore.
All right.
And,
Oh, that's right. Remember you mentioned that.
And, it's feeling a little bit better now, but otherwise I feel fine.
Right.
I don't feel like I have a cold or anything, but my throat and my voice are, they don't feel, great.
Get some honey tea.
That would be nice.
Coat your throat
I
there.
would like some honey tea.
Yeah.
Let's go get some honey tea.
Like a hot tea, because that's good for your throat, too. Yeah.
I don't know where to get that.
Dots?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, I'd have to make it myself.
Well, you just warm it at the microwave.
Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
So the KKK. I read an article a couple weeks ago that...
Oh, you actually have a KKK story.
Oh, I do, yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
fantastic.
You know how there's you say you're driving down the highway and you see a little sign by the bridge that says this part of the highway owned by people for the something somethings or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
Like they pick up the trash there or whatever.
Right.
Apparently, the KKK tried to buy a little section of a highway around here.
Okay.
Because they're all against trash,
Sure.
except for white trash, of course.
Right.
But
Irony?
I don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know.
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time.
Yep.
No one knows what irony is anymore, including us. But yeah, so they got a letter back from the state that said they're like, we appreciate the idea that you want to adopt part of the highway. However, no. Which I thought was awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
But then the KKK representative in the paper said he wasn't sure, why. He's like, we just want to pick up trash, man. We just don't want trash. And he was like, and when the interviewer said, well, do you think it's because, maybe because you don't like black people? And he was like, it's not that we don't like black people. It's just that we really like white people. That's what he said. He said, that's the KKK image we're trying to promote. And I was like, man, just fucking give up.
Right. Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah.
It's over. No one is ever going to just be like, you know what? You guys are all right.
Yeah. We've really come around on the whole KKK thing.
Yeah, what were we thinking? You guys are snappy dressers. Civic-minded folk. Yeah, I thought that was awesome. It's just so weird.
Yeah. Yep.
And, maybe there's a guy in the KKK, and he's like, you know what? I really do I don't mind black people, and I don't like trash on the side of the road.
Right.
I'm going to make a difference. Well, you know what? You need to just leave the KKK.
Yeah.
And then do something about the things that you like.
Right. Yeah.
Like there's always a point where, you just look around at where you're at, and you're like, maybe I'm not in the best place to be me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's probably what that guy needs to do.
Yeah. Right. Well, I'm there is a side to this where, you gotta say, good for the KKK for trying, for continuing to try to make themselves out to not be the horrible people that they are.
Well, but it's just I think they just wanted the advertising up. But in my mind, they're just just think about every time black people have to drive over that stretch of highway and they see the KKK sign on the side.
Yeah.
They'll know we're still around. That's in my mind what they were trying.
Probably. Yeah.
But yeah, it's ridiculous. Oh yeah, and if you're listening and you're in the KKK, fucking kill yourself.
Yeah. At the very least, stop listening.
Right. Yeah. Hey, please do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be Alan Moore here. If you like the KKK and you like gutter trash, you don't get what we're doing here.
Right,
We're
yeah.
racist against you.
Yeah.
And then kill yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And don't leave a note, because then you'll be mysterious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's always good to be mysterious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, people love that.
I mean, all the ladies at that restaurant you used to go to, they all thought you were mysterious.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all wanted to bone me because I was mysterious.
Yep.
That's what I heard. But I was like, why didn't any of them act on that when I was single, you know?
Too mysterious.
I'm way too mysterious, yeah. Eating vegetarian biscuits and eggs and reading Truman Capote short stories. Pretty fucking mysterious.
Or drawing pictures of dongs in your sketchbook.
I do draw a lot of dongs in my sketchbook. They're like, he's mysterious, but obviously gay. Oh, well, I'm just going to put my hot cooter away. He ain't touching it. I don't think ladies really call it their cooter.
I don't think so either.
In my mind, they do.
You have a lot of family from Kentucky.
Right, yeah. In my mind, they're like, you know, they've made a gynecological appointment. Like, yeah, I got to go get some cooter work tomorrow.
You gotta go to the cooter doctor.
That happens, right, ladies? Right? No, they stopped listening 4 cooters ago.
It's too bad they missed out.
Oh, I know, right? This is the best part of the show. This is where it gets good. You've waited long enough. Here it comes. You deserve it.
Oh. Yeah. So, you know, it's times like this where I'm like, you know, is it any wonder that I'm still single? But then I also have to wonder, is it any wonder how are you not?
Because I'm mysterious.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure your girlfriend figured out all the mysteries by now.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
probably date 2.
Right. Yeah. This barrel's not too deep.
Yeah.
It's an optical illusion. You can scrape it from, with a toothpick. You can scrape the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what else has been going on? Anything?
Nothing good?
Nothing good?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I mean, I can talk about what happened to me on Friday, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah. The thing that I did on
Oh.
Friday.
If you want to.
I mean, you know, seems like it's kind of a big part of the show.
Right.
So for the listener that might occasionally get worried about me when I kind of go on some of my little flunks here and there, went to go get an assessment for mental health thing.
Right.
Yeah. And it turns out that in a diagnosis shocking absolutely no one, I have depression.
Right.
Yeah. And a couple other things too.
Mm-hmm.
But actually the depression is actually sort of the secondary thing that I have. The other thing is the main one is social anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That seems totally right on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And
Like I said, shocking absolutely no one.
yeah, but once you've been actually diagnosed by a professional,
Right.
you can maybe work towards that
Yeah.
better. I mean,
Right.
you've been working towards it. You've been doing things
A little bit,
you know.
yeah. So I'm going to start therapy at some point.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's pretty much the thing that's happened to me recently.
Well, that's pretty big.
That is not a terrible, dumb thing.
Well, that and Lego Batman.
Well, okay, so that's the one thing good that's happened to me that is not Lego Batman.
Right.
And also the only thing that's happened to me that is not a terrible, dumb thing
Right.
that I
Okay.
did.
Yeah. I like that last part.
Yeah.
You gotta throw that in.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you. Hope it works.
Thank you. And I know you did some therapy yesterday.
I did. What?
Did some dance therapy.
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, for Valentine's Day, I gave Kathleen a heart-shaped locket with a picture of Gary Oldman from True Romance in it, but I also bought us a tango lesson.
Yeah.
Because she's always wanted to learn the tango.
Okay.
She thinks it's a very sensual dance.
Yeah.
Which it is, right?
I don't know.
So it's funny because, like, I knew this lesson was coming up, and I was like, oh yeah, I don't even know anything about dancing, because, like, maybe I danced once at, like, a high school thing.
Right.
But, I mean, that was, like, 20 years ago.
Right.
And I was like, I'm gonna YouTube tango. And so I YouTube tango, and, like, most of the top things that show up were, like, super, like, crazy, like, you know, like, they put them on there because they're fucking impressive and crazy.
Yeah. That's usually what happens on a YouTube.
Right. So I was like, I want something a little more laid back. And then I was like, oh, here's a scene from Sense of a Woman where Al Pacino plays a blind man doing the tango. I was like, that's probably more my speed. so I put that on. And, like, no, I mean, like, he's fucking great at the tango.
Sure.
But there is, like, if you ever YouTube this video, the look on his face is pretty much the same look I had on my face the entire time we did the tango, where, like, his eyes are just open really wide and they're just staring off into space because he's blind.
For sure.
And I was doing it because I'm just terrible at stuff like that. But no, we went and I had to buy shoes because I didn't have any flat soled other than my oldest pair of Chuck Taylor Converse, which had been worn away into flat surfaces. But I had to buy a pair of, like, nice shoes, and we danced. We did some merengue and some tango.
Yeah. So were you wearing nice shoes, but then, like, you know, shitty jeans?
My
and a
voodoo
flannel?
clothes skull.
Yeah.
No, I put on some dress pants and a sweater. Yeah. Because, I mean, basically I would have worn jeans. I didn't even think about it, but they said not to wear jeans because they're constrictive for your movements.
You're wearing jeans wrong then.
I know. See, mine aren't very constrictive.
Nope.
But yeah, it was fun, actually. We went to Arthur Murray down there. It's, like, right across from Toys R Us by the mall.
Yeah.
And, we danced, and the little intro package that we bought includes, one more lesson, but, like, the one we had was, like, just us and the dance instructor.
Right.
But the one we get to go to next Friday, this coming Friday, is, like, a group thing.
Oh, wow.
And, so I thought that would be fun.
Yeah. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and we might do some more because, you know, I mean, this is obviously, like, the super basic, like, here's the basic moves. But I looked, like, he showed me the different packages they have, and it's pretty expensive.
Right.
Like, the introductory thing was it was $30, and you get a half an hour with a one-on-one and a 45-minute group thing for a couple. But after that, they're like $50 per half an hour.
Jesus.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll do one more if we just really want to, like, get good at it or something.
Sure.
But, like, they want you to do, like, blocks of 4 of them, so it's like
$200.
Yeah.
There. So I'm going to be my dad here for a minute.
Right.
So what's all this for? Well, what are you going to do with all these lessons?
We're gonna tango it up.
Where?
In her apartment. Probably while we watch Son of a Woman. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe at a wedding or something, or a funeral. I don't know. Do you tango at the funeral?
You usually don't tango at funerals.
It's more of a foxtrot.
It's more of or a Charleston.
Right.
Yeah. Kind of a shuffle.
Right. Yeah. Shuffle off this mortal coil.
There you go. Right.
See, that's the joke that you cooter hating people missed out on when you left because we kept cootering and everything. But no, it was fun.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we had a good time. And they said that, like, also, well, this is okay. I will say that, you know, if you buy the $200 package thing.
Right.
There is a party you get to go to with an open bar.
Hey.
So, I mean, I can see why they charge a lot, because unless there's like a maximum amount of,
Right.
open barness you can, enjoy.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you could spend $50 on alcohol pretty easy.
Uh-huh.
So,
Have done.
yeah, right. So, yeah, I don't know. We might still do it, especially if I get gainful employment.
For sure. How's that coming?
DC nor Marvel have called.
Huh.
So, I don't know. I guess I'll keep posting to my blog and see what happens.
All right.
No, I did apply a few places. I don't know if I mentioned these on here. I applied to be a guy at the circulation desk at the library. I applied to be a donut delivery guy. I tried to get a job with a friend of mine who works. They basically just sell books online, and so basically all I do is take orders, pack orders, ship orders. And I told him, like, whenever there's an opening, I'm your man. And he's like, okay. So, and something else. I feel like there was one more that I applied for. I can't remember what it was. Seems like there was one more. I don't know. I haven't really, like, been all gung-ho at it.
Right.
So, obviously. So, I'm a professional cartoonist. I don't need anything else. I got 2 strips a month coming out in one paper. I'm fine. Oh, that reminds me. I'm kind of excited about the documentary Stripped. Have you heard of it?
Nope.
It's about like the fall of newspapers, basically, and how like cartoonists are just doing stuff on their blogs and web comics and stuff now.
Right.
And they interview a bunch of people, including Bill Watterson, and he actually did the movie poster for the documentary. So it's like the first thing he's drawn and put out there in years and years.
Right.
Pretty excited to see that. I think it comes out in like a month. It's called Stripped. So,
Interesting.
yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. So, if anybody out there has a great job they want to give me that does not involve Magic the Gathering cards, let me know. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I've got going over here.
Yeah, I got nothing else going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe you should, tell me a movie to watch.
A movie! We should watch a movie.
Yeah.
There's 2 movies I've whittled it down to.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is playing at a theater in Yellow Springs.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Casablanca.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is a movie about a monster that comes out of a guy's asshole, I think.
I think you already know my vote. If that's what this is coming down to.
Right. Bad Milo?
Uh-huh.
The monster comedy?
Yeah.
I think that's the one we should do. Because it does not involve Yellow Springs.
Right.
And it's probably more fun than Casablanca.
Probably. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Which, by the way, I
mean, that's not what I would have voted for.
Right. Oh, that wasn't the one. Okay. I took 2 years of Spanish, by the way, and just so you know, Casablanca roughly translates to cocaine motel. I looked it up. Isn't that right? You're part Mexican or something, right? You're a dirty wetback, right?
Yep, I am. Yeah, you're right. Approximate.
Right, it's pretty close.
Yeah. So yeah, Bad Milo.
Bad Milo.
Fuck yeah.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, me too.
But I wasn't actually serious about Casablanca, but it is playing in Yellow Springs for those of you who are interested.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, me neither.
It would be a
actually
missed classic, I guess.
I've never seen it either. Well, I don't think I'm gonna go, but I know our friend Joe G is pretty excited. So there you go.
He's gay. So.
Yeah, can you believe that? He's probably Jewish too.
Right.
Yeah. With a name like Grunenwald.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, let's watch an ass monster movie.
Yes. Let's do that.
All right. Bye.
See you guys.
Thank you for listening to Gutter Trash. You can subscribe to the show from guttertrash.net or from iTunes and leave us a review. Visit guttertrash.net for email information, links to our Facebook and Twitter pages, and for other podcasts and websites in the Gutter Trash Network. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.